Learn how to create, sustain, and scale up your print-on-demand business with the latest tips, guides, and strategies to help you start selling and making money today. Welcome to the Sales on Demand Show. And here's your host, Adam Schneider.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sales on Demand Show. My name is Adam Schneider. This is episode 72, and today we're going to be talking about how to sell print-on-demand face masks. If you asked me 1 year ago what a face mask was and what it's for, I would have said keeping your face warm. I don't know. Who wears a face mask? I mean, I always saw... Okay, this is how culturally ignorant I am. I'd always see Asian people wearing a face mask, and I wondered why they were wearing it. But I'm not the kind of guy to go up and ask somebody, hey, why are you wearing a face mask? So now that the entire planet knows what face masks are, I'm going to teach you today how to find designs or create designs and sell your own print-on-demand face masks on Etsy. I don't know if Amazon is allowing them yet. I think they might, but I'll have to confirm that. They weren't allowing them before. Alright, so updates for me. I actually launched a few face masks. I launched them before the last episode was out, and I reported to you guys that I made one sale. I made the one sale within like an hour. Well, I have now sold 14 face masks, and they're all the same design, so clearly that one design is a big winner. And I've got a bunch more designs in the pipeline, and I'm going to be launching those pretty soon. Also, here in sunny southern Alberta, it is hot, and I'm sitting in my bungalow and melting into my leather chair. I tried to go for a run this morning. Usually if I get up early enough and go, hit the running path early, I can, bang out a decent amount of distance before it gets too hot. Well, I didn't get up till 8:15, and by the time I got out the door after having a little bite to eat, it was already like 24 degrees Celsius, which is pretty much, it's above room temperature. And it just kept getting hotter and hotter as I was running. And I was like, okay, well, 5K it is. And I hit the 5 kilometers and just came home because it is hot. And it's not going to be getting any colder over the next week or 2 or 3. So for you guys who live in a hot climate, I guess I can see why, life gets a little difficult. But I guarantee you, I'll trade you your summer for our winter, and you will not, you wouldn't make that trade if you knew what we go through for the winter. So I'm soaking in all of this hot weather, trying to make it last a little bit, because winter is coming, and winter sucks. So, anyway, enough complaining. So, what is currently selling? Well, coffee mugs, t-shirts, and those items, they are still selling. It is the summer season, so, sales are not going to be as hot as they are during the Mother's and Father's Day season, Valentine's Day, stuff like that. You're going to make some steady sales if you have any evergreen items, anniversary stuff. But obviously, the hot item right now is masks, and that is because everybody has to wear them. There are businesses that are basically making it a policy that if you want to walk into a business, you got to be wearing a mask. And I know there's a lot of... I actually have like 7 or 8 friends on Facebook who are just like adamant that this is a violation of their rights and this is the worst thing in the world and masks don't work. And I'm just like, can you just shut up? Like, stop doing this, because private businesses have every right to demand that you wear something. They can make you wear pants. I mean, if they can make you wear pants, they can say you must wear a mask. And, I mean, it is kind of entertaining to watch these these YouTube videos of people walk into a store and the manager's like, oh, where's your mask? And they're like, I don't have to wear a mask. But listen, just, if you're going into a store and they want you to wear a mask, stop putting up a big fuss about it because you just look like an idiot. So that's just my public service announcement for the day. However, I will say, I agree that wearing a mask is not comfortable, and especially in hot weather, it is extraordinarily uncomfortable, and I really don't see any need for them outside unless you are in a large crowd of people that you cannot be separate from. There is really no benefit to wearing a mask outdoors. The sun and the wind and, everything being outdoors kind of kills the virus, which is, being transmitted by spit particles. So indoors, yes. Outdoors, And if you're alone in your car and you're wearing a mask, you should just know I am laughing at you a little bit. I still respect you, but I chuckle at your wearing a mask in a hot car. Alright, so a lot of stuff has gone on this week. All of it really good. Some things are like my life has taken a huge turn, but in a good way. So I'll kind of get to that pretty quick here. So first of all, I just finished a guest spot on someone else's podcast. It's called the Side Hustle Bookkeeper, and it's with a fellow named Tony Price. And this guy is good people. I highly recommend, listening to his podcast. I actually haven't listened to his podcast, but he has been listening to mine. And we had a great conversation. I mean, it must have lasted over an hour, but it sure didn't feel that long. We just kept going on about, how print-on-demand works, and he asked really good questions. I was very impressed. And, I'd happily come back on a show anytime. I would even have him on this show. So maybe I'll get in touch with him and set that up. But in any case, I will put a link in the show notes for you to check out the Side Hustle Bookkeeper. Sounds to me like he reviews software for people who have side hustles, which is pretty useful. So the second thing that I'd love to tell you guys is that I finally got my act together. I am on fire this week, literally and emotionally, and maybe spiritually too, I don't know. But I am motivated, I'm driven, because I see like this future ahead of me, and that's propelling me forward. So I finally have an email list. Yes, it's been almost a year and a half since I launched the show. Never had an email list. I mean, all of the experts say, the first thing you do is create an email list. And I'm like, what do experts know? So finally I have an email list. The email list has a purpose, though. It's not just, put your email in here and I'll just put it in a vault with the rest of the emails, and then when the zombies come, I'll take all the emails out and shoot them at the zombies. I mean, there's a purpose. If you want to be notified when a new show is released, if you want special information or links to videos that I am not linking to anywhere else, and updates on my upcoming course. So all of that's going to be in my emails. There's probably going to be one a week, maybe two a week, so I'm not going to be like spamming you with emails. I know people get so many emails these days that it's overwhelming to get so many emails. So I can promise you I'm not going to be hammering you with emails, and there's going to be valuable, good content in each single one of them. Other benefits of signing up for my email list include looking younger and faster growing, shinier hair. Although that's not been evaluated by the FDA yet, so just the show, the new show and the updates for now. So the third thing I'll talk about is I've had a very unexpected but good life change. So as I revealed, maybe, I don't know, over the last few months, I was on this path, and, I work as a law enforcement officer, and I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be a municipal police officer, and I had a place that I wanted to work. It's a city that I grew up in, and I just like it there, and I could picture myself being there and working in that city, and it was just a vision I could see so clearly that I can almost reach out and touch it. I mean, if you've ever had something that you've wanted a lot, and you know what I mean, when in your mind you can picture yourself doing it, you know how you do the job, or you know how you do whatever it is, and that was me. I wanted that. I know, I'm highly qualified, not to blow my own trumpet here, but I've been doing this job for 15 years. I'm pretty good at it. I'm very good at dealing with hard people, solving problems, and I like it. So that's something I wanted, and I thought I'll do that for a few years and then see how it goes. Well, I mean, that's not exactly a plan for the future, but it was what I was shooting for. So just the other day, I found out that I'm not getting the job. I'm not continuing in the process. So basically, right then and there, the dream kind of just died away. And weirdly enough, and this is strange, I don't know, if any of my listeners are religious. I'm a Christian. I don't, you don't obviously have to believe what I believe, but I think that sometimes God does things and you just see the evidence right in front of you. So for me, this was very clearly like just flat out like a divine intervention. So because I'm very active on Facebook and I'm always helping people out, it kind of caught the attention of people in higher places, and I was contacted by a fellow named John, and he said, well, we're starting a coaching program and we'd like for you to be one of the coaches. Would you like to join? And literally this was the same day that I found out I was not continuing on in this process to be a police officer. And I realized that, if I want to really grow in this business, I mean, not the print-on-demand side of things, but the thing that I love, which is helping people build their own businesses. I really love this. Podcasting for me is, I don't know, it's kind of like this cathartic thing where I come and talk about something that I have a real passion for, and I don't know, I just love doing this. I love talking. I love talking to people individually and in a group. I love public speaking, and I've always imagined myself doing more of this. But I thought, well, how is this going to work? Someday I'll get into this, more. But, I have time. And I like working. I have no objection to getting up in the morning, even early is fine, and making coffee and a breakfast and going to work. I like being outdoors. I like talking to people, and so I had no plans to retire from working for for a long time. I knew that if I somehow lost my job, I'm pretty sure I'd be okay, because I could sit down and take all of my free time then and start smashing away at my business and start building that. But I didn't really want that to happen. So, yeah, but it was funny how when an opportunity comes up, everything changes. And so I've decided, if I can basically do this coaching thing full time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to retire from working, which is a terrifying prospect, because, a job is like a security blanket, and especially a government job, it's not a union job, so it's not as secure as, say, like a postal worker or a teacher or something like that, but it's pretty secure. During the pandemic, I was working. They didn't lay us off or anything. And, most government jobs really are pretty secure. They're certainly much more secure than private sector jobs or private businesses where things can change. You can make a lot of money one month and very little money the next month. And so leaving an employment, leaving a job, to me feels like stepping out into a hailstorm, and I just, you're taking a big risk. But, if I'd have done this 3 years ago, I certainly would not have felt comfortable doing it. But now, with 3.5 years of experience doing marketing, doing podcasting, I've built up a platform. I've built up a listener base. And I can keep doing this. I have connections. I feel confident that this is the time to do it. So I'm probably going to do that, do the coaching thing part-time. And if it looks like it's going to turn into a full-time thing, I'm going to do that. So that actually opens up an opportunity for you, the listener, to get into some one-on-one coaching with me. It's something actually that a bunch of people have requested specifically, and I've always thought I'd like to try and provide this to people, but the time it would take would be more than I can handle right now. Working and doing all this other stuff, I don't think I could handle it, and I couldn't have back then. But going forward, now I can actually see this working out. So I'm going to be releasing this training course. It's going to be in the first week of September. I'm getting real close to being ready to go on this. And I'm going to try to get as many people on board as an affiliate. If you've got a platform of people and a few people who'd like to join in, contact me and I can find you what's called an affiliate link. And then if you get them to sign up for this course, you get some money. So, free money, right? Why not do it? And that's because, word of mouth is one of the best ways to spread the news about something valuable. You can tell them, hey, listen, I've been listening to this guy for a while, and he's got good content, and, he's got a training course, it's got all these videos, and a Facebook group, so join with me. It's kind of like girls going to the bathroom together. You can join up for my course with your friends, and we'll all just have a good time. So, that is the unexpected life change, and I'm sure you're desperate for me to get on to the actual content of today's episode, which is masks, but I really wanted to share that with you guys, my listener base, because it's huge for me. It's really huge. Alright, so, as I said, masks are going to be big, and realistically, I would say that they're going to continue for at least the rest of the year. Who knows what's going to happen? The United States obviously has a lot of COVID-19 cases right now, and that is there's a lot of mandatory mask wearing going on. Here in Alberta, several municipalities have implemented mandatory mask wearing in public spaces like government buildings, transit systems, so on and so forth. So, a lot of the time, people are just going to bring their own mask because then you have it in the back pocket. It just blows my mind that a mask is something that, everybody is supposed to carry with them now. I can't get over this. 2020 is so crazy. So anyway, launching mask designs. I got 4 key tips for you guys here. As always, they're going to be short and sweet, but super valuable. So let's get into it. So the first thing is image masks. So unlike coffee mugs, or, similar to, but more so than coffee mugs, images on masks are a big thing. So you can actually print anything on a mask. You can print text, you can print images, and you can customize those. So one thing that I've thought about doing, and I know exactly which images I will do, I just need to go find them, is I'm going to go on royalty-free image sites like Pixabay, and I'm going to find images, and I'm going to Photoshop out sections of the image and put it on a mask. So obviously I'm going to need high-resolution images. So you're going to make your mask template is going to be 1500 times 900 pixels. And so here's a couple of ideas what you could put on a mask. So animals, huge. Flowers, guns, camouflage, girly crap. Sorry, girls, ladies, but if you give me a mask with like unicorns on it, I'm not wearing that. But there are people out there who love unicorns, so putting a unicorn on a mask probably would make a few sales, and you should think about it. But I mean, any kind of picture that is interesting or unique, and is free. So it has to be royalty free, because you can't steal someone else's image and use it in commercial business, and you can actually get sued for that if you don't. So it has to be royalty free. Okay, so you can't just go on Google, find images, and then upload them, unless the place where you get the image from says, yes, you can use this image. Or you took the image yourself, like you took the picture and either you drew it or you actually took the picture with your own camera. Then you can use it, obviously. So also profession stuff, like if you work in a profession, any image that kind of reflects that profession would be great for a mask, because a lot of people who work in like jobs where you are in close proximity to people, these companies are encouraging or even forcing their employees to wear masks. Even if it's just like when they're in a group, the employee still has to have the mask on them. So it's a great opportunity to make something that's unique. Alright, so the second thing is text masks, or text and image masks. So this could be funny phrases about the wearer, their name, their job title, or even their picture. And this is an excellent opportunity for those of you who have some time in your day, which I'm not one of you yet, but maybe soon. You can create like customized masks with people's image. It's like, because the mask covers your face, the joke is, oh, who's underneath there? You can have an image of them, and it's like, this is me. I don't know what the phrase would be. I'd have to think about that for a bit. But that is definitely one of those things that you should be testing out. So the third thing I got to talk about masks is that you got to get your keywords right for masks. So there's a few things that you should be using for keywords. And by the way, again, this is on Etsy. I don't think Amazon, they might be allowing masks. I don't know yet. Facebook advertising does allow cloth masks to be advertised. So if you're into Facebook ads, man, I've got a mask that if I had a little bit more time in my day, I would definitely be advertising that mask, and I know I'd make tons of sales on it. So, but you got to get your keywords right. So the keywords are what customers are going to type in when they're looking for the mask. So if you don't have the right keywords in the title, you might have a really good design, but nobody is going to find it. So the best way to find good keywords is to look on Etsy and look for that. If you got something in mind, let's say you want to make a horse face mask. Totally steal that idea if you want. Type in horse face mask and see what comes up. Then click on one of the products that you find and see what they're using for keywords. And then take some of those keywords. They don't own it, and it's totally fine to copy the keywords and some parts of the title. I would not, and do not copy the title verbatim, because that's kind of rude. But if you change around the order of the keywords, then at least you'll have them in there, and you should be discoverable when people search. And the tough thing is to know whether people are really looking for that keyword. So if you're searching on Etsy and you type in horse face mask, when you click on one of the products that you find, look and see if there's any reviews for that mask. You might not see reviews for masks yet because they're fairly new, and a lot of them are taking a while to get there, but you might find some. So if you see reviews for masks when you click on the product, then you'll know that this is making decent amounts of sales. So the fourth thing that you absolutely must consider when you are selling masks, especially if you're doing it on Gearbubble. There's other mask print-on-demand sellers. I'm actually part of a group of people who are just sublimating their own masks. So they're just buying white blank masks and they're just printing out like designs and sublimating them. I did talk about that before. I definitely do not have time to do that in my life right now, but it is, a possibility for people who have some time on their hands and maybe a little money to spend on a printer. If you don't have access to your own printing press for that, then you're going to need a print-on-demand supplier. And realistically, this is the easiest way to do this. And the Gearbubble supplier, they're shipping from the United Kingdom, which it's not as bad as it sounds. Masks are actually not taking that long to make it to the customer, but they are taking upwards of a month, which is, at this time during the pandemic, 1 month is not actually that bad. So don't panic, don't freak out, don't set your hair on fire, and don't tell yourself that you're not going to sell masks, you don't want to deal with complaints. Okay, you might get a few complaints, but the key is to set the expectations up front. Tell your customers, this is going to take a month or longer to make it to you, but it will get there. So reassure them that a long shipping time, and tell them why. Tell them that masks are in high demand, which is completely true, and that the suppliers for masks are having difficulty getting them in stock. That's mostly true. Some suppliers are having trouble finding them. Some maybe don't have, but definitely because of the demand, it is taking longer to get them printed. So just let them know up front. Put it right in the description of your product. Put it on your shop announcements, and when people order, you can include it in the email they get when the confirmation email that they get on Etsy, and set that expectation that it's going to take a while for this to get there, right? So what I've done is I have told people that it's going to take at least 2 weeks to print, and it's going to take at least 2 weeks to ship. Now on Etsy, it's a little bit easier to fudge that because you can actually extend the shipping times. But I would say at least 2 to 3 weeks to make them, and then another 2 to 3 weeks to ship them. Maybe not that long, but it's not going to be too much shorter than that. So yes, make sure you set those expectations for your customers. But I am pretty comfortable in recommending a mask as a print-on-demand product now. When they came out at first, I was a little unsure because, I'd actually thought about this when people started wearing masks. I thought to myself, man, it'd be sweet if they could do that as a print-on-demand thing. And sure enough, of course, people who do print-on-demand for a living, they're not stupid, and we can see that this mask thing is going to be a thing. So selling masks means that you get on board with the program and start print-on-demanding them. So the problem is that the supply chain was not quite nailed down then. It was taking a long time. They didn't have they didn't know who the supplier was. It wasn't a good supplier. Now all of those problems seem to be mostly solved. So I'm comfortable recommending Gearbubble for a mask supplier. Gearbubble is not the company that prints them. They actually just use someone in the UK. But Don Wilson, the owner of Gearbubble, is diligent and dedicated, and he has set up a good relationship with this supplier. And I think, from what people have been saying, people who sell a lot of masks, they're saying that customers are pretty happy with the results. So that is what I recommend right now. And that's how you can make decent money selling masks. So, hey, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm going to leave you with a few links here. So now that I have an email list, I'm going to tell you how to sign up. Okay, so you ready for this? You're going to go to salesondemandshow.com/start. A-R-T. Okay, that's it. One word, start. You're going to click the link. It's going to say, there's a free video here, so click the link to get the video. It's going to ask for your email, and then you automatically get added to my email list, and you get a free video that shows you the basics of selling print on demand. I just made that video today, so it's super up to date. I actually go through, create a design, and launch it on Etsy. So you get to watch the whole process. It's an actual design that I have listed on my Etsy shop right now. So click on that and join up on my email list. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.